What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Culture Shock, the show reminding you that even though it is election day, we are still living in 2020 clown world. How do I know we're living in 2020 clown world? Because any other election year, we would have known the results of the election on the day of the election. Not today, not the day afterwards, not a week from now, today. So, don't know what's going on, but gotta say a few things for sure. But, before we get into everything, I'm doing this early into the show because I have a lot to talk about on both sides of the aisle because I think a lot of people are going crazy. Of course, like, subscribe, please share this video out. It is going to be a very interesting one, not usually wasn't on my agenda today, but social media has been just going crazy. People at each other's throats. This got to stop, folks. We gotta fucking stop this. This is not the way we need to handle this stuff. And I'll get into every single aspect of this throughout the show. But please like, subscribe, share with your friends, share it on social media, subscribe to the channel. Of course, I'm trying to hit that milestone still, of course. I do have a podcast with this video. I got a Parler account, I got Twitter, I got Facebook, I got all the stuff. And of course, join me on my Discord server. All right. So now that the formalities are all out of the way, folks, we are in the 2020 election. It is the day after the election, and we still don't know who the president is. I can understand everyone's anxiety right now. Everyone's on edge. Everyone's a little bit stressed. Listen, folks, there's a lot to take in. All right. There are some good aspects of this election that we need to focus on, and there are some bad ones that we need to talk about. All right. So let's focus on the good part of this election. I got to say that there was a very, very well turnout. Very good. People are coming out, they're voting. Whether you voted for Biden, whether you voted for Trump, doesn't really matter. You're getting out there, you're doing your civic duty, you're voting. I think that's a win in my book. Doesn't matter who you voted for. Again, you're doing what you got to do to get out there and make your voice be heard. Now, whether you voted for Biden or whether you voted for Trump, I don't really care, to be honest. At the end of the day, there's going to be one side of people who are going to be upset. There's going to be another side of people who are going to be upset. It doesn't matter which way the pendulum swings at this point. Though me personally, I was hoping to see more people freak out over Trump, but I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know if Biden's going to win. All of it is a big toss up at this point. Yes, if you look at the map, it is suggested that all Biden has to do is win Nevada and he has it in the bag. But I mean, it could still go towards Trump. We don't know. I don't know why Nevada decided to stop counting ballots. Usually in the real world, we count all the ballots until the ballots are counted, not take a break, not come back a week later, not say we're going to do it tomorrow. We do that shit now. All right. So I really don't know why Nevada decided to stop counting ballots, but it can still go either way. Okay. You have Trump and Biden. There's only a difference of 8,000 votes, and the last time I checked, it was about 75% reported. So we don't know how this can go. It can go either way. If Trump wins Nevada, that's the election. If Biden wins the Nevada, that's the election. So we'll get into more of the election results a little bit later in this video, but that's how it is. So there's a lot of iffiness going around. I really don't know what to tell you guys. All I can tell you is that don't go burn shit down if your candidate doesn't win. That's all I have to say. Like, this is getting insane. People on Twitter, people on Facebook are just going at each other's throats, and it's not even all of that. All right, I get it. It's a very important election. Don't get me wrong. I'm on the edge of my seat too. But if Biden wins, Biden wins. If Trump wins, Trump wins. Now, if they win fairly, that's a different question. That's entirely questionable, because at this point in time, we're now seeing a lot of voter fraud. Look, I don't know what's happening. I just learned that Arizona has had 6,000 votes, not 6,000, 600,000 votes uncounted, yet it already went to Biden. So what's going on here? I don't know. I really don't know, but they need to fix it, because this is the messiest election I've ever had to take part in. And of course, we knew it was going to be this way when COVID hit. We knew that the Democrats were going to use this as a means to get back into the executive office. We knew it. We didn't know how they were going to do it. But the moment they said mail-in ballots in August, we knew that there was going to be an issue. And Trump called it. He called it. It was going to be an issue. Voter fraud, no one's reporting on it, but I'm seeing a lot of videos, a lot of media on social media suggesting that voter fraud could be happening, and it needs to be looked into. Okay, if Biden wins this fair and square, by all means, do what you got to do, buddy. But a lot of people are not going to take that line down, because if they have the slightest inkling that voter fraud has been done and Biden won as a result of that voter fraud, it's going to be an absolute mess. People are going to be just enraged. They're going to be upset. I don't really know what to say to that. Now, here's the flip side of that coin. If Trump decides he wants to go ahead and contest it at the Supreme Court and he ends up winning the election via that way, then of course the left is going to have a fucking hissy fit. So I think at this point, not knowing who the president is or the winner is a big red flag, because this can go either way. Trump wins, I don't know, maybe the right would be out in the streets. It's highly unlikely because there's no evidence to suggest that conservatives are going to be out in the street marching and burning shit down, but it could happen. Okay, I'm not ruling that out. If Trump wins as a result of him fighting the election with the Supreme Court and saying, hey, this is voter fraud here, then, you know, the left is just going to go fucking crazy. They're going to go absolutely insane. And there's nothing I can do. But we have to take a step back and we have to look at some of the good stuff that has come out of this election. First and foremost, Republicans have held the Senate. So look, guys, it's not all Democrats in there. They did take the House. They may or may not take the presidency, but we do have the Senate. So we do have some strength there. But also, an Edison poll came out today on the demographics of the exit polls of who actually voted. And this is actually really surprising to me. So just listen up really quick. Trump garnered at least 48% of the Latino vote. That's crazy. That is almost half of the Latino population in America. Now, I did see some pretty nasty stuff coming out of people when Trump took Florida about Cubans. That, come on, people, uncalled for. If Cubans want to vote for Trump, let them vote for Trump. And I'll get into that later, okay? 17% of Black males voted for Trump. 31% of the Asian vote went to Trump, and 40% of other ethnic background people went to Trump. Now, of course, you have to take into account the white population. Trump actually dropped 5% in the white male category and dropped, no, I wouldn't say drop. He actually gained 2% in white women. Now, what does that tell us? It's telling me really quickly that this whole intersectionality thing that the left has been trying to pull, that if you're Black, you're gay, you're victimized, or if you're Black, you got to vote this way, or if you're white, you got to vote this way. If you're a certain skin color, if you come from a certain part of the world, you have to think this way. It's starting to see that a lot of Americans are throwing this intersectionality shit to the wayside. We don't believe it. We don't like it. Most people in America do like to be referred to as individuals. We don't like to be identified by the way we look, our skin color, anything like that. So the fact that minorities came out in droves to vote for Trump is a testament that this intersectionality thing, the way that the left has been trying to divide us as a people, is not working. We don't like it. So if Biden wins this round, good. But I can tell you right now that it's going to get worse with Biden in office, because Kamala Harris is VP and he's already appointed Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, and Beto O'Rourke to his cabinet. I can tell you in 2024, people are going to come out in droves to vote that shit out, because they are going to try and push this intersectionality shit on us. And we don't like it. We're not going to take it lie down. All right. So that's my 2 cents about the election. I'm going to get into the map. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of my 2 cents on what I think could happen, should happen, and what I think should have happened before. All right, people. So as you can see, this is the current map. As of this recording, nobody has been decided. All right. We still have Nevada here, which is 75% recording or reporting. And I mean, there's an 8,000 vote deficit there between each other. So it can go either way. 75% not reported, and you have 8,000 votes between who's going to take that state. It's super tight. It can go either way. I'm not going to say it's going to go to Biden because he's leading. I'm not going to say it's going to go to Trump because he might win. I don't know. But Nevada has stopped counting the votes. We have no idea how this can go. So Nevada is actually the game changer here. It is actually going to change the game if it ends up being. We have Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia still haven't been called yet. Now here's where the sort of underlying issue kind of comes in for the day. All right. So Arizona was called, I think, yesterday towards the end of the evening, around 8 or 9 o'clock, and it was only had reported around 60% of votes. Mm, so 30, but 60% already called, right? Come to find out is that Arizona actually had about 600,000 uncounted votes, yet the media called it in terms of Biden. So I don't understand how you have 60% reported. You already called the state, but Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia, who are all in the upper 90s right now, except for Pennsylvania, obviously, they are still not being called for Trump. So I don't understand what is happening here. A lot of these states, Wisconsin, Michigan, I'm hearing in Detroit, Michigan, that they have actually started counting absentee ballots. If they still have ballots to count, why has it already been declared for Joe Biden? I don't really understand it. No one knows what those ballots are. There's a lot of things going around that doesn't seem right, and it just doesn't make any sense. Florida was still sitting in the 98% before they declared it last night around 8:30. I think that's when they did it. It was really late that they when they declared Florida, but Florida was actually leaning towards Trump a majority of the night, and they finally gave it to him around 9. I want to say around 9 o'clock, maybe a little bit later. Um, and there's still a lot of, I guess, states that are still counting their ballots, yet they're not declaring them anything. So they've already been declared, and you have ballots that are still being counted. So there's a lot of stuff happening here that doesn't make sense. I don't really know what to say. We all knew that this was going to be a shit show. So you can honestly see right now that even with 214 and 264, if you give, Pennsylvania to Trump, that's 20 electoral votes. You have 15 for North Carolina. He's sitting at 35. And then 16, you're looking at about 46 electoral votes right there. That'll put them neck and neck. The deciding factor here is, of course, Nevada. And then everyone's forgetting about little Alaska here. Alaska, which is running 50% reported, 62% already for Trump. That's 3 electoral votes. That's more than enough to put Trump over edge. But Nevada, hey, again, they're neck and neck here. I really don't see how that can go, how that cannot be the deciding factor. It can go either way. It can go for Joe Biden, it can go for Trump. There's an 8,000 vote between the two. So tomato, tomato. I don't know. So it's a lot to take in, folks. It's a lot to take in. But we have, of course, if we go over here to the Senate, Republicans have held the Senate, 48 majority. So kudos to that. But the House, the AOC, and the Rashida Tlaibs and all that stuff, they do unfortunately still hold the House of Representatives. So it's not all bad news, folks. If Biden ends up winning, it is what it is. If Trump ends up winning, it is what it is. But some people, especially conservatives like myself, we're more along the lines of our conservative values being attacked by this administration if Biden does get elected. And that's the argument. We're not here to sit down and tell you what you can and can't do if you're on the left. That's far from it. What we want to do is just enjoy our lives and just make sure that no one's going to be trying to stuff their ideology down our throat, which for the last year, that's been the left. They've been rioting, they've been looting, they have been trying to indoctrinate people and children to their way of life. And I mean, those people are the most miserable people in the world. If you were on Twitter last night during the election, you saw a lot of nastiness coming from the left. And people, if you're watching this and you're on the right and you voted for Trump and you're a conservative, whatever, I don't care. Do not go crazy. Do not go crazy. We have 4 years of the left going crazy, screaming and just making all sorts of just insane TikTok videos for no apparent reason. Guys, we can't do that. We got jobs, we got families to feed. We can't be out there doing that stuff. So just end up just understand that it's not necessary for us to be angry. All right. If Biden wins, he wins. If Trump wins, he wins. It'll be more fun if Trump wins, not gonna lie, because the left doesn't know how to control themselves. But at the end of the day, if this all comes down to it and Biden wins, my fellow conservatives, yes, it's going to be the next 4 years. We might have Kamala Harris as a president, and a lot of shit can go astray. But I'm telling you guys, keep your composure and fight back the way we know how, with your voices, with things like this, because I'm not going to stop fighting for you guys. My voice is your voice, even if you guys are afraid to step out as such. All right. So I guess we won't know the results of the election until I'm hearing as late as November 11th. I, guys, I don't know. I don't know. All I know is that at some point the Supreme Court is going to step in and they're going to contest the results. That's what I know. I know Trump is going to do that because that's why he put Amy Coney Barrett into the Supreme Court before election. He knew that this was going to be a problem, and I can almost guarantee at the moment they try and declare Biden the winner, Trump is going to contest that, and it's going to be a Supreme Court decision after that. I really don't know what to tell you. Like I said, at this point, anybody who contests anything, one half of this country is going to be up in arms. The other half is going to be up in arms. This is how it is. This is what it is. If we had known last night, this wouldn't have been an issue. But again, we're going into day three actually of this election. So never in my life have I seen an election go on for more than a day. So it is what it is, folks. So I am going to log off for now because it's just too much. I'll be watching it for you guys. I hope you guys do kind of calm down on Twitter, but I'm going to enjoy some reading. I'm really excited for this issue of Power Rangers. So guys, get off your phone, go read a book, go watch a movie, go do something else. Put it down because we're not going to know any updates on the election tonight. We might know it tomorrow. We might know it on Friday. Who the fuck knows? I don't, but I'm here to tell you guys that it's cool. Chill out. All right. So I'm Will at Heroic Studios, guys. I will see you guys later. Please, please, please don't try to destroy a city. All right. Adios, muchachos.